extreme travelers are embarking on a unique expedition into one of the most remote rainforests on Earth. Their goal? To contact and live with the remarkable Kombai tribe, a people whose way of life has barely changed since the Stone Age. There are now only about 4,000 Kombai left. They live isolated from the rest of the world in the tropical jungles of West Papua. They share precarious tree houses and are totally self-sufficient, relying only on what the rainforest provides. The question is, can two Westerners live exactly like they do and survive?
Wasn't it beautiful?
Mark Anstis is a seasoned traveler and author.
I'll have chapter 4 to you before I leave.
With numerous expeditions, including several to West Papua, already under his belt. Ollie Steeds has already made his name as a TV news journalist.
Yes, I think what's this story?
He's interviewed people all over the world and crossed numerous cultural barriers. But for him, this is unknown territory. Now it's total immersion in a totally different world.
Last hunt together of tribes on the planet. Radical change from the sedentary Western life that we lead.
After a difficult start, Ollie and Mark found a friendly Kombai family, helped by their expedition guide, Bob Paligi. The Kombai agreed to teach them their survival skills, but on one condition. The travelers had to become members of the family.
Oh, that's right over the blue.
Over the next few months, the guys will try to absorb every aspect of a very different culture. Eventually, they'll take part in one of the biggest Kombai festivals ever thrown. In this program, Mark and Ollie's mission is to give up all their Western-style rations and eat off the land just like the Kombai do.
It does feel like quite an ambitious step, really. It's the weird animal bits, rats, anuses, and, frog sphincter and things like that. The whole thing filled me with dread from the beginning because I love my food.
The challenge puts their health at risk. But what they aren't prepared for is losing their guide. Mark and Ollie are settling into a Kombai treehouse and getting to know their new family when there's a sudden discovery. Bayo, the head of the family and Mark's adoptive father, has caught a snake with his bare hands. Mark is pretty comfortable with reptiles.
Looks like they found it right underneath our hut. I really don't like snakes.
Moments later, Bayo quickly breaks its neck. Fear of snakes is something Ollie will have to get over.
It's very definitely dead.
It looks gruesome.
Still coiling around
The muscles are contracting, though it's past feeling and well and truly dead.
It is literally as if it's trying to escape the fire though, isn't it? Smells disgusting and looks pretty foul. Dogs are certainly keen.
Barbecued snake is a Kombai delicacy.
Just bones around the outside. Lots of bones and lots of scales. Do you eat the bones? That made me slightly gag that. Keep smiling. Don't offend anyone.
Ollie manages to crunch his way through a mouthful, but this is just the start of their new diet. The Kombai way of life is dictated by the need to find enough for everyone to eat. Now that they've seen this firsthand, Mark and Ollie know that to live like the Kombai, they have to eat like the Kombai.
We have to do it because I don't think we can really be accepted in any way by this family if we're seen to be sneaking off around the back and spinning our bellies because everyone else is getting a bit hungry. Last supper tonight. Judgment Day tomorrow. We've got to lower those barriers, be at one with our hosts. They get hungry, we get hungry. They eat awful stuff, we eat awful stuff. Now, I don't know how long we're going to be able to sustain it, but we're going to do our best to go the whole hog, really.
From tomorrow, they're going to stop eating any of the rations they brought with them and will try to live off the land. Their ultimate goal? To hunt and fish as successfully as their hosts. Can they do it?
This is one of the last hunter-gatherer tribes on the planet. And, who better to teach me the really top-notch jungle skills that I want to have under my belt. I love my food, and I've been enjoying a lot of it before I came out purposely. I knew this was going to happen. It's going to be fun. It's a challenge. It's a real challenge.
Ollie's new father, the family elder Gunare, is impressed with the guy's decision and explains that this is a land of milk and honey. Gunnar is describing what sounds like a Garden of Eden, but is it? Berner, who is Headman Bayo's wife, is organizing a food run. They're heading off to make sago, the staple of the Kombai's diet. It's Mark and Ollie's first survival lesson since their adoption, and food stocks are low. If they aren't replenished by this evening, everyone will go hungry. Sago palms are plentiful in the lowlands of West Papua. They grow wild right across the family's territory, which is about 20 square miles. It's hot and humid, the trek's exhausting, and the hard work hasn't even started. Chloa, Ollie's new brother, invites the guys to join him in the brute strength part of the job, bashing the tree down with a stick.
Coming down.
The plan is to fell several trees, then pulp their trunks for the starch they contain. But first, there's a treat to be found in the palm's crown.
This is the sago hot. And straight out the top of the palm. Must be the best bit. Solid food. Is it worth the effort?
For the Kombai, it's the closest thing to apple pie.
Can I have a go? Kind of fibrous. Taste, a little bit sort of grass-like in its flavour. Quite like the beetles we ate the other day. For our adoption ceremony when we first arrived here, we had to eat huge beetle larvae, sort of maggots. The Kombai adore them, but they took days to collect, and to me, they're repulsive.
You can eat breath and swallow.
Even Mark doesn't like them. They're definitely something of an acquired taste.
What's it for my mother, who always used to think I was a fusspot?
Just because the Kombai survive on food like this doesn't mean that we can. Mark must be crazy. Finding nourishment here seems to be a really hard, relentless process. Apart from the snake under our treehouse, we've hardly seen any wildlife. Not even a bird. And most of the vegetation is inedible. This is no Garden of Eden at all.
It's now midday, and Chloa is teaching the guys how to use his axe. It's a precious tool with a stone head that could be thousands of years old, but he's forgotten to tell them how fragile it is.
Mark's just broken the head off the axe. Chloa doesn't seem very happy.
And there's worse to come. As Mark and Ollie help pound the tree trunks for sago starch, the Kombai staple food, Chloe reveals that these ancient stone axes have probably been used to kill people. Mark and Ollie have given up their Western-style rations and vowed to live off the land just like the Kombai. They're on a mission to make food from tree trunks. But Mark's just broken an ancient and treasured stone axe. These tools are extremely precious. They'd better not break the axe heads because Chloe knows they can never be replaced.
Claus told me to stay well away. Doesn't want his axe broken again.
Chopping down whole trees seems wasteful, but the palms grow back quite fast.
I think Claus being rather generous there. We've broken a couple of his axes and clearly not as productive as his, but we've got to work hard and try and prove our worth to him. So at the moment, I think we're doing it. Well, Mark's doing a better job than I am, anyway.
Now for the really hard work. The pith has to be pounded for hours. It will take the whole day to make enough sago for just a few meals. It's a job the Kombai insist is best left to the women. Ollie wants to get to know the family better, to find out more about how they live. Chloe's happy to oblige.
You tell us the story? You ever fired a bow and arrow?
Out of nowhere, Chloe then surprises them with a startling revelation about Ollie's new father, Gunare.
It seems that Gunari is not the sweet old man I took him for. Is he really the family's avenger?
So, Gunari is the big troublemaker around here, is he?
I think Cloas realized he's already said too much. As we return to the settlement with a meager supply of sago, I can't stop thinking about Gunari. It's hard to imagine him killing anyone, but I need to find out more. Gunari seems such a charming old chap. I think he's the one to tell me about what went on in the past. Well, Gunari's stories will have to remain a mystery for now, unlike our day's only meal, which unfortunately is utterly bland.
Tell you what I wish we had is one of those hypnotists.
Really is dull.
Because with someone like him around, he could trick us, make us think when we're eating sago, we're actually eating an apple, or we're actually eating a hamburger, or a pizza, or lasagna.
For days now, Mark and Ollie have been sticking to a Kombai diet. Right now, that means eating sago or nothing at all.
It's a frightening dilemma, isn't it?
And they're about to run out of that because it started pouring with rain, and it's not even the rainy season. When it's wet like this, The Kombai simply rest up. Ollie and Mark's survival lessons have ground to a halt. They need an idea, or they'll go hungry.
It is a bit of an issue, and I'm wondering how we're going to cope and how long we're going to be able to stick it for.
Still to come, the guys get desperate. They defy the Kombai's advice and go hunting for food in the swamp. Ollie and Mark are trying to find out what it's like to survive as hunter-gatherers in this West Papuan rainforest.
I want to live off the land. I haven't achieved that before. I've always got too thin, too weak, too ill, and had to bail out.
Constant, unusually heavy downpours have prevented any more sago gathering. But with so much of the Kombai's territory inundated with water, Mark suddenly realizes that the answer to their food crisis is right in front of them.
We sort of persuaded them to show us how to build a fish trap. It rained a lot last night, so we're in a sort of flooded swamp on the edge of somewhere. I think there's a river over there. Don't know exactly how it's going to work, but we're sort of building a dam at the moment.
The Kombai, though, never fish after heavy rains. The family have agreed to the trip, but what Mark and Ollie don't realize is they're only being polite. Could the guys be about to wear out their welcome? They've come to a creek about an hour's walk from the settlement. It feeds into the main river that's already overflowing with the recent rains. Despite their misgivings, the family start damming the stream using plaited palm leaves. It's a team effort where everybody seems to know exactly what to do.
All the materials they use to make the dam, they find within a 100-yard radius. They're totally self-sufficient. I really admire that. Berna, my new mum, is beginning to warm to me. On the other hand, Ollie's new aunt, Mappy, seems to find fault with everything I do.
Mark's in his element, learning from Waflo and Leonore how to make the intricate funnel part of the trap.
I think I get it. They're going to put it through the dam, so there are small holes in the dam at this end of the trap, and the fish are fooled into thinking, here's an escape route. In they go, but they can't go anywhere. They get stuck inside the cone.
Sloshing around in waist-high water is taking its toll, and it's starting to dawn on Ollie that the women might be right about the water being too high.
The river's risen about 5 feet overnight. Huge storm has been upstream somewhere. And if it rises anymore, this trap is not going to be much good, because the water level is going up and the fish are going to be able to stop.
But if the water drops, we should end up with a huge catch. This is what it's all about, living off the land. We're just poking this trap through the dam, so it's a case of making a hole and
But not everyone is as enthusiastic as Mark. The women want to try another of their traditional methods, one they have more confidence in. They're making shrimp baskets, and Ollie's helping out. Termites are the bait.
Do you wear as a hat?
shrimp baskets on the edge of the main river, but they are beginning to look really miserable. It's raining again, and the river level's bound to rise even further. There's little chance now of any catch at all, but Ollie and Mark have no idea why the family are so unhappy. Any illness out here can have serious consequences, so it may be a long wait before anyone can go back and check the traps and baskets.
The feeling of hunger does take its toll. It's exhausting.
It's rained all night, and this morning it's still raining. Mark's first chore is to get fire from the main hut where it's never allowed to go out. Their hopes of a fish fry-up are fading.
The rain really brings everything to a halt, and if we wake up and hear that it's raining, then there's no real urgency in getting up, because we know the family aren't going to be going anywhere. Today, for instance, we were supposed to be going back to collect the fish caught in the fish trap, but the river will have risen again. It was raining all night, I think, last night. So I imagine the whole fish trap's going to be under 3-4 feet of water. Hopefully it won't get swept away.
At the first break in the weather, Ollie and Mark can't wait to find out if they've caught anything. Even though the family suspect there'll be a washout, they all make a long trek through the soggy forest once again. Against the odds, the dam is still in good shape. How many fish will they catch?
What we got?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's something in there.
Is it a fish?
Is it a leaf or is it a fish? I can't see. No, it's a leaf.
Ollie and Mark are the only ones who seem surprised that the traps are empty. Ollie doesn't want to wait. He wants to go upstream right now and drive fish towards the dam.
Ooh, I think we're going to beat the fish. Thousands of them swim up here, and we can jump in the water.
It's a disaster, but perhaps they'll have better luck with the shrimp baskets.
The girls are saying muy odiado.
Oh, muy odiado.
Odiado is no shrimp.
Disappointed.
Mappy just takes it in her stride. She's seen it all before. Andayo, the oldest woman in the family, resorts to song to explain her frustration with the hasty fishing plan. At the last moment, true to form, Burner comes up with a surprise catch. Still to come, how will 15 hungry people share out one tiny fish? Mark and Ollie have spent 2 days with their Kombai family setting fish traps, but it's a washout. They've ended up with just one fish. Everyone's starving, Even so, Berner's planning to give half of the catch to Mark and Ollie. But Mark's already made up his mind to refuse the fish.
I don't think we should eat it. No, that's right. Well, I think we should at least put up a fight.
Over in the family hut, the failed fishing expedition is taking its toll on tempers. Mark's noble gesture leaves Ollie no choice.
It was definitely the right thing to do. I stand by you, sir. I may gnaw on your arm later when I get hungry.
Ignoring the hungry faces, Berner's ready to take Mark and Ollie their share of the fish. The rest is left to the family. The Kombai share everything. No matter how small the morsel, everyone, adult and child alike, will get a bite. Back in their treehouse, Berner's boys face the consequences, the last of the sago.
Berner's just come up to us with a bit of the fish. Most of it, actually, most of the flesh anyway. But we refused it, sent it back.
We're just adjusting to a new diet.
I think if one fish is being caught, then it should go to the, I don't know, whoever they see fit, but not us.
I think Ollie and I are going to have to start catching it for ourselves quite quickly, otherwise we're probably going to just lose so much weight and have so little energy that we can't really perform properly each day. I've never tried to go without protein before for an extended period of time.
The sugar loads, because we've had a lot of sugar in our diet, suddenly to be taken off that is going to be tough. Just hope we can keep the energy up so we keep enjoying, I suppose.
The constant rain and a strain of fever endemic to the region are affecting the family's well-being. Mark's gained enough medical experience on previous expeditions to be worried. Ganari's bad chest has now given him such a high temperature that Mark and Ollie's guide Bob is very concerned.
He's feel dizzy and all body is very weak all the time. Selalu begitu.
Exactly what the fever is remains a mystery. The fever that's affecting Ganare is sweeping through the rest of the family too. Apart from keeping people under observation, Mark feels there's very little he can do to help.
120 a minute. 120 a minute, low blood pressure, temperature of 40. It's been like that for days. Yeah, I just don't know. Don't know at all. If I give her something and I don't know exactly what's wrong with her, because I'm no doctor, and she dies either through the medicine or just because I haven't treated her for the right thing, then they might blame me, us. Yeah, who knows what would happen. It's a real sort of moral dilemma, and it's one that's faced by every expedition to regions like this, really.
Mark's right to be worried. When people here suddenly fall ill, the Kombai blame the supernatural. In just a moment, Mark and Ollie find out what happened when a member of their own Kombai family was accused of witchcraft. Mark's been treating their Kombai family for fever, but he needs to be careful or he could get caught up in their superstitions. The Kombai believe mystery illnesses are the work of supernatural forces brought on by people known as swangis.
Rimingo po mora mana mora amar ba. Ora rano po kini po.
Ako mora angko mora untuk menyebra milih. Untuk menyebra milih makala di pembeli mana.
Mo mana bukan.
Mora obar mora yang belum mora obar yang belum mora milih ni. Mora apa di sini? Mora yang belum mana ni mora. Oh mora mana? Kuro nang udah ni deh. Kuro lah udah balik ni aku bumbu ada beli ni makan. Kuro kau udah balik ni barang mana bumbu aku dah balik.
It's time for Mark and Ollie to find out more about Kombai witchcraft and its link with illness before they stumble into something sinister. Gunare, the oldest member of the family, knows more about swangis than anyone.
This is very dark stuff, but I have to ask if Gunare's had any first-hand experience.
Gunare's past certainly shows he's got a very different side to the one we first met. But then he was only following tradition.
It doesn't strike me at all that there's any sort of vindictiveness about it at all. There's nothing bad-blooded about it. It's just a fact of life. It's part of it's just their belief. They utterly believe in it.
Still, it's an incredible looking glass into the way they think in the world of superstition and spirituality and within their culture.
The fear of swangis lies deep within the heart of every Kombai family. Anyone can be a swangi. All it takes is for someone to point the finger.
Ora mana wanda bro. Man ma wanda bro. Nu mana wanda bla no home. Me mana wanda bla no home. Ala ko ni mana wanda bla no home. Mama. Ala ma de.
Aku mulai mana nangjo wambu. Wa ga bare nang bu mo ni. Wa ga bare nang bu mo ni mar ko nang ko bara anda bla no home. Anda ma de mo la. Inde mo le ko na. Inde mo le do ma nangku kumule udah kau ambil anda apa nih minta mau amar bara bara apa nih?
Bara bara anda mah deh, anda mah dia dulu nak bara kali udah ungkina na, mau pilih lah. Mau pilih karena bara bara nampla, nare nuru menale nih, apa nih bara bara ini bara anda mah deh, orang anda bara dia deh. Nampak nak kombo mana? Karam Bomi. Malo, yang kau ambil malo deka. Mana gua baru mari dia tu kali ni. Umum buat apa ni? Mana dia kan tu?
Leading someone away to be executed. I think that's, I feel desperately sorry for them that they're still bound by all this. Because it must be awful to have that hanging over you. I mean, anyone can be accused at any time and there's no recourse. There's nothing they can do about that. And it's a horrible thing for them to have hanging over them.
Luckily, this time the family get better. But then Bob suddenly goes down with a fever that's much worse.
Bob's got falciparum malaria, which can turn into cerebral malaria, which can be very fatal. Well, fatal.
We've got to get him out pronto.
I'm good. Bob, I want you to take this to the hospital, and I've written a little note as well. You'll be alright. Take care.
Okay, chip out everyone.
Mark's sure that unless Bob gets proper medical attention soon, he could die. Bob's clearly being careful not to accuse anyone for his plight, but he's in for a tough journey. The nearest airstrip is miles away.
Bob's a tough cookie, and for him to go down just sort of makes an example, really, of how dodgy this place is. Every time you get a mosquito bite, is that the one? And it's just full of them here. It's not a great place, really. The local missionary called this the hell of the South, and it is really quite dangerous.
The rain has stopped at last, but its effects sadly haven't. Now there's a new crisis. The main family hut has started to slide down the hill.
See this strut here, one of the main supporting struts is broken down here. Seems like the swamp might be encroaching, as is the case of everything around here.
Coming up, there's a chance for Ollie and Mark to make up for the trouble they've been causing, but will they rise to the challenge?
The new sons saved the house from falling down. It's a fairy tale come true.
The recent downpours have caused an emergency. The main family hut will slide down the hill if it's not fixed immediately.
One of the major problems of building in these type locations is rising damp. Big swamp down there, a lot of rain coming down all around here. Looks like this house is suffering from a little bit of subsidence. Well, the whole thing is actually on a horrible tilt. To save their home, the women need a hero. Probably not Waflo, but certainly not me. What have you got online? Well, with rope.
Mark's brought ropes to climb trees with, and now he's come up with a plan to save the communal hut. But Leonare and Gunare look worried. Mark needs to get the head of the family, his father Bayo, on board too.
We're going to run a rope all the way up here to these here, basically.
Mark's managed to unite the whole family, and they all pile in to help.
Hold it. We moved it about that far. Okay, good. We'll rumble. We'll see what we can do. Okay, he said luckily he's not going to do anything to us. But with that smile, who knows? Gunari's moved straight back in, and Bayo's back in now, and they seem to be pretty happy. The ladies? Bernie, happy, happy? Burumble? Burumble, so they're very happy, so that's a great start. Hopefully, we've done something to actually contribute something to the village.
Spirits are lifting all around. The hut is safe. News is just in that Bob has reached the hospital safely, and nearby, the river level has dropped. Another fishing party is taking place. This time, there's the sweet smell of success. And even Ollie and Mark know how the system's supposed to work.
Pulling these two dams, one at either end, and come through. Once it's all done, I'm going to hook, I think, Jake goes down there and scoop all the water out. Behind your leg. Not quite a lobster, but it's a start. Pretty rudimentary fishing, but effective. We've got quite a few already.
Well, we've got everything that the river could provide. Nothing's gone.
As the catch piles up, Mark and Ollie learn something the Kombai were trying to tell them all along. You have to choose the right day, and you must be patient. The moral of the story, trust the experts.
Hello, baby. How do we deal with this?
And it just gets better.
Oh, big one.
2 weeks ago, Mark and Ollie would have turned up their noses at rat.
What is that thing? Is it like a river rat?
Yeah, it's a water rat.
And this fella is? Yeah, this is great. I mean, it's the first successful food mission we've been on. And we're certainly bringing home some fish and that rat that we just caught.
After all the hard work, roast water rat goes down a treat.
Fucking gamey flavour, isn't it? Something between a rabbit and a pigeon.
Ollie and Mark's mission to live as the Kombai do has turned the corner. It's really underway.
Joey?
But tasty.
They've honored their vow to give up Western food
Oh, we got a Sega rap going on.
and are learning to enjoy the fruits of this rainy jungle.
Oh, caramba. Prawns.
I think some part of my body is sending signals to the brain about just saying protein, protein, we want protein.
Got whole fish in here. Fins and all fins poking out there.
Today, they crossed an invisible bridge.
Oh, and then some dough to go with it too. This is quite a feast. Feast we've only dreamed of.
They're finally on their way to understanding what it is to be truly Kombai.
Daily dice with death situation.
Next time, Mark and Ollie struggle to build a brand new house, a perilous 100 feet above the jungle floor. They almost kill themselves. But something even worse forces their Kombai family to make a painful sacrifice.
It's about Homer Simpson when they get the donuts. Yeah, that's a bit ahead of it.
Very harsh. Falls it on, I've heard that line before, something.
Keep smiling. Won't offend anyone.
Ollie manages to crunch his way through a mouthful, but this is just the start of their new diet. The Kombai way of life is dictated by the need to find enough for everyone to eat. Now that they've seen this firsthand, Mark and Ollie know that to live like the Kombai, they have to eat like the Kombai.
We have to do it because I don't think we can really be accepted in any way by this family if we're seen to be sneaking off around the back and spinning our bellies because everyone else is getting a bit hungry and we would otherwise.
Last supper tonight. Judgment Day tomorrow. We've got to lower those barriers, be at one with our hosts. They go hungry, we get hungry. They eat awful stuff, we eat awful stuff. Now, I don't know how long we're going to be able to sustain it.
It did feel amazing.
It looks like they found it right underneath our hut. I really don't like snakes.
Moments later, Bale quickly breaks its neck.
No. Why me ala baba na lena? Why me ala baba?
Yeah, eating?
Baba odo na ba andu la ande.
Fear of snakes is something Ollie will have to get over.
It's very definitely dead.
It looks gruesome.
Still coiling around with
The muscles are contracting, though it's past feeling and well and truly dead.
It is literally as if it's trying to escape the fire though, isn't it?
Smells disgusting and looks pretty foul.
Dogs are certainly keen.
Barbecued snake is a Kombai delicacy.
Just bones around the outside.
Lots of bones and lots of scales.
Do you eat the bones? That made me slightly gag that.
Style rations and eat off the land just like the Kombai do.
It does feel like quite an ambitious step, really. It's the weird animal bits, rats, anuses, and frog sphincter and things like that.
The whole thing filled me with dread from the beginning because I love my food.
The challenge puts their health at risk. But what they aren't prepared for is losing their guide. Mark and Ollie are settling into a Kombai treehouse and getting to know their new family when there's a sudden discovery. Bayo, the head of the family and Mark's adoptive father, has caught a snake with his bare hands. Mark is pretty comfortable with reptiles, interviewed people all over the world, and crossed numerous cultural barriers. But for him, this is unknown territory. Now it's total immersion in a totally different world.
This is one of the last hunter-gatherer tribes on the planet. Radical change from the sedentary Western lives that we lead.
After a difficult start, Ollie and Mark found a friendly Kombai family, helped by their expedition guide, Bob Paligi. The Kombai agreed to teach them their survival skills, but on one condition. The travelers had to become members of the family.
Oh, that's right over the blue.
Over the next few months, the guys will try to absorb every aspect of a very different culture. Eventually, they'll take part in one of the biggest Kombai festivals ever thrown. In this program, Mark and Ollie's mission is to give up all their westerns. Two extreme travelers are embarking on a unique expedition into one of the most remote rainforests on Earth. Their goal? To contact and live with the remarkable Kombai tribe, a people whose way of life has barely changed since the Stone Age. There are now only about 4,000 Kombai left. They live isolated from the rest of the world in the tropical jungles of West Papua. They share precarious tree houses and are totally self-sufficient, relying only on what the rainforest provides. The question is, can two Westerners live exactly like they do and survive?
Wasn't it beautiful?
Mark Anstis is a seasoned traveler and author.
I'll have chapter 4 to you before I leave.
With numerous expeditions, including several to West Papua, already under his belt. Ali Steeds has already made his name as a TV news journalist.
Yes, I think what's this story?
He's